Hey everyone, Coach Megan here, and I am so incredibly excited for this episode. We're going to be talking about 9 steps that you need to go from total pageant newbie to national or international pageant winner. And you might be thinking, how in the world is it possible that there could only be 9 steps that I need to take to go from somebody that has absolutely no clue what I'm doing in pageants to national winner? But by the end of this episode, I promise that you will be convinced, okay? So before we get into it, a few exciting announcements. Don't skip through this part, okay? Because you will want to know this, and if you skip it, you're gonna be very, very sad, and frankly, miss out on the best sale of the year. So in a couple weeks, we have Black Friday coming up. The way that we do Black Friday at Powerhouse Pageantry every year is a week early because so many of you guys are competing at National American Miss, okay? So we wanted to honor that, and this is your warning. Ding, 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 ding. Right now, the alarm bells, the warning, put this in your calendar now, bells, okay, are ringing right now, okay? It's going to be Tuesday, the 18th of November through the 20th, okay? Tuesday through Thursday, no more, no less, and it'll be from midnight, basically Monday evening, Tuesday morning, through midnight Thursday, so end of the day Thursday to the beginning of Friday, so week before, and this is the greatest and largest sale that we've ever done in the history of Powerhouse. And I don't say that lightly. Literally the greatest thing we've ever built in our life. So you're going to get over 11 courses, okay? 11 courses for less than $100. Okay, I'm just like, spoiler alert right now. We're calling it the Black Friday Mega Bundle. And if you don't get this, I will probably need to check you for a pulse. I'm just being honest, okay? So pause this episode, put it in the calendar, and be like, look at Powerhouse emails. Look at Powerhouse emails. We do not spam you guys. Every email that we send, we try to make really, really valuable. There'll be some reminder emails. There'll be some emails of me kind of telling you my heart and my inspiration behind why I wanted to do this and make this available to you. And then there is a super secret surprise as part of the Black Friday offer. Many of you guys ask me literally every day. I had over 20 calls with you guys this month of wanting to join our programs. And it was so exciting. So many new faces. It was just amazing. And like the number one question I get is, what about Mastermind? What about Mastermind? What about Mastermind? And to be honest, we've just been really lazy at marketing it in the past. And then I don't get the video back for like a month. And then I never even post it because I'm just like, now we're moving on to the next goal, or it's state season, blah, blah, blah. So this year I'm committed to showing you guys what Mastermind is all about. And really, we have never marketed it publicly, really. It typically is just for 20 of like our internal clients who want to do the weekend. But this year we're doing it bigger and badder than ever. So only if you are part of the Black Friday deal will you get first access to a Mastermind ticket this year at a special price. So that's all I'm going to say right now. I'm going to be tight-lipped about everything else, but it will be the best deal. And if you've been cooking and looking around, or if you just like love all of our courses and you're already addicted at this point, which frankly I would be too. I love to buy courses. My mentor has like literally 100 courses and I've bought like 30 of them because I'm just obsessed with her and love learning. So if you're a lifelong learner and even if you're a previous client of ours, these are all, new things that I would highly recommend grabbing, but the Mastermind ticket is going to be phenomenal. We're doing it differently this year. So we're going to do a general admission. That is a 1-day event because everybody can get off on a Saturday. So even if you have to fly in, Friday night, you have school, you have class, you have work, you have whatever, we're still going to make that accessible for an all-day event Saturday. And then we're going to do a VIP day as well the day before, where we'll do a mock pageant. We'll do a VIP dinner. We'll do just a bunch of extra special stuff. You'll get extra time with me. You'll get just the bonuses are crazy. You guys, we're going hog wild this year. So that'll be the last weekend in March, Friday, Saturday, March 28th and 29th in person here in Omaha, Nebraska. It's a super easy flight. It's going to be bougie. It's going to be pink. It's going to be sparkly. It's going to be beautiful. And this really is, you guys will see this because we have a podcast coming out with 2 of our winners that went to Miss America's Teen this year who actually met at Mastermind. They were wearing the same outfit And they both ended up winning their state pageants, went to Miss America's Teen. It's beautiful. So they're like, can we be on the podcast and tell our story? Like, we're so obsessed with Mastermind. We think this is the reason why we won, in addition to they were both in Pageant Academy. And they're like, we just want to get as many people there as we can because it was so life-changing for us. And they're like, we want like 50 teens there this year. So they're on a personal mission to get more teens there. And it's just going to be a blast. We're trying to find a venue, frankly, that can like fit everything. So March 28th, 29th, you can grab a Black Friday discounted ticket as part of the Black Friday bundle, the mega bundle. You're going to get like literally 11 courses or more because we're still adding stuff because I want every course to just be phenomenal and extremely helpful for you. Like I said, for less than $100. It's going to blow your mind. Like, you're going to be like, is this fake? And we'll be like, no, we just love you. And we want to make pageantry an authentic, beautiful, wonderful place where you get to self-develop and step into everything that God's called you to. So that's my exciting PSA. Okay. Black Friday, week before Black Friday, so that you have time to implement for NAM. Okay. So I'm so excited. Literally, if you are breathing, you need to get this. It's just going to be like, guys, I'm so excited. I'm like tingling. I'm so excited. Okay. So with that, back to the regularly scheduled programming. And if you're watching this after Black Friday, sorry if you're watching this a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, because she gone. She ain't there anymore. So too bad, so sad. Gotta watch the podcast when it happens. Okay, so let's talk about this 9-step roadmap. 9 exact steps to go from total newbie to national winner. I like to keep things simple. If you're new here, I don't live in the clouds. I live on my feet on the ground, very practical level. By the way, just notice, like, look how cute my nails are. Okay, you can't really see this, but they have a little crown on them. So cute. Okay, so 9 steps. I like to keep things really simple. Okay, even though I'm a mindset coach that like is doing deep unconscious work with people like every day. And helping people like rearrange their identity to be restored with Jesus, which is awesome. I'm also incredibly practical. I'm incredibly like one foot in front of another. How do we build a pathway to helping people get repeatable, duplicatable results, that whether you are Sally Sue from Montana or you are Jenna Lee from LA or Robin from New York, I don't know, I just made up random names, then we can duplicate these steps and get similar results. Can I get an amen? So who wants these results? Okay. So this won't be a super long podcast. I just want you to take notes. Okay. We might create a freebie for this. I don't know. I've created so many freebies lately. I'm just really focused on Black Friday right now. So you'll just have to listen to this 5 times. Okay. And if you're not on our email list, you can DM the word 365Q and you can always get my ebook that I wrote with 365 free pageant questions. So you're welcome in advance. Okay. Number 1, y'all all should already know what number 1 is, because this will screw everything up if you don't have this, okay? So this is the least practical tactical, then we're going to get real practical tactical, okay? And my notes are over here. If I'm not looking in the camera, don't be offended. I'm just looking at my notes. Okay, so master your identity is number 1. Write that down. So this is the hidden point killer that I feel like, again, not that nobody else talks about this, but frankly, we're the ones that are fixing it. Like actually fixing it, right? Like have a positive mindset, have a positive self-image. Don't compare yourself. It's like, great. Thank you, Tamra. Like I know, but how do I actually stop comparing myself? How do I actually be confident? Like, thanks so much for telling me to be confident. But this girl next to me is gorgeous and 100 pounds and has a 6-pack. Like, how do I not compare myself, right? So the number 1 point killer is a negative self-image. How do we build self-image? You ready for me to blow your mind right now? You ready? Put a yes in the YouTube right now if you are ready. What else could we do? I don't know. Just clap inside your car that you're listening to right now, okay? Get excited. Give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. That would actually be a huge blessing. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube if this is a blessing to you. So how do we actually build confidence? How do we build a self-image? Okay, very simple, very practical, tactical actually. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? I wish we learned this in school, but nobody knows this stuff. So confidence is built because of competence. So something that I teach in all my mindset coaching is the square of excellence, the square of mastery. It goes from unconsciously incompetent, which means you suck at it and you're unaware of it. It lives at the unconscious level that you suck at it. Then we move through the learning zone, which is conscious incompetence. I'm aware that I suck at it. Then conscious competence, meaning I have to work hard at it and I have to really keep it like frontal lobe, think about it to be good at it, focus really hard. And then it eventually moves over time and repetition to unconscious competence. That's one way to look at it. I teach that all the time. Well, another kind of paradigm to add to that is to think about competence is what creates confidence. So imagine what I just said like as 4 boxes, kind of like a Punnett square, okay? Unconscious incompetence is on the bottom right. Unconscious competence is on the top left. So we move by bottom right, then bottom left, then top right, then top left. Okay, that's how we move through it. Most people quit in what I call the suck zone. They hide or quit. And why? Because you don't like to not be good at something. So it produces negative emotions that you don't want to feel. And because you don't know how to process your emotions and you're not very good at it or don't want to, then you quit or you hide. And we go from these high highs to these low lows, this yo-yo effect. This some days I'm up, some days I'm down. Some days I'm confident, some days I'm not. Some days I'm on fire and I'm passionate, and then some days I'm burnt out and I don't want to do anything. This is reflective of your behavior follows your self-image. So the more competent that we are at something, the more consistent typically we are at something. And when we have competence and consistency, it creates confidence because I'm like, dude, I've walked to the mailbox and back 1,000 times. There's nothing in me that's like, you can't walk to the mailbox, right? If you ask me my name, I always say this. If you ask me my name, what's your name? I'm like, Megan. There's nothing that's like, what's my name, right? So there's an element of repetition, which is why my core framework, mindset, skill set, repetition is so crucial. Like it is literally the way that we learn anything through that Punnett square, right? Through that paradigm of moving from I suck at it and I'm unaware to eventually complete muscle memory and mastery. But most people quit because they don't have the tools they're like, okay, I'm putting in the reps, but then they have some kind of a blockade that's locked up in the unconscious that is causing them to get stuck in perfectionism, or that's causing them to compare themselves, or that's causing them to have to control absolutely everything in their life because they're terrified that if they don't control everything, then everything's going to shut down. Everything in their life is going to crumble, which is not the truth. So number one, this is why the first step in the mastery roadmap has to be mastering your identity. And that's a heavy thing. Like that's a big task to ask of yourself, obviously. And so making a commitment to that, when you understand that commitment is going to be a part of the greater parts of the whole of winning this pageant that you want, it actually helps make everything else seem quite a bit easier, actually, because we're putting first principles first, and we're actually like putting our oxygen mask on so that we're not going around the mountain for years and years and years and years, which is what I've found quite a bit, that people will fix all the external things that are seemingly easier, but then it's still butting up against that internal failure mechanism, which is what causes success to take so long without seeing progress. This leads me to number 2. So the second thing that you need on this roadmap to success is committing to a scoring-based strategy. So you really need to stop guessing and, like I say, the spray and pray method, and you really need to start building your prep around what are they actually scoring you on? What is actually worth the most points? Where do you think that you are the least confident today and what you're working on? Again, practical, tactical level. And then, what are the values of the pageant that you're competing in? What is the judging rubric? Can you ask your executive director, like, what are the qualities that they actually give to the judges? How do they train the judges? I asked all these questions before I competed, and I really feel like it helped me still authentically be myself, but also like figure out specifically like what were the rules of the game? Like what even were they looking for, and how can I adapt but still remain authentic? And then also like what are your unique differentiators? We'll talk about this later with brand, but what specifically are the things that make you a standout? Like, do you know those things, or are you just guessing when it comes to those things? So strategy gives purpose to every ounce of effort that you're making. Pageants are a big lift, and so you want to make sure that you have that momentum of a strategy that's creating movement, right? Where you don't feel stuck and broken or just on this high of like high highs and low lows of burnout and extreme passion. This leads me to number 3, which is dial in your platform and your personal brand. Again, you have to know like what's going to make you unforgettable? What's going to make you somebody that just stands out a cut above the rest because of your confidence and your life experience, the consistency of your actions that you can prove. You're not just living in idea land of all these things that you want to do, but you're actually showcasing the things that you're really proud of and how you've integrated your platform into your life's mission, your everyday life, not something that you've done just very shallowly for a pageant. And not something generic like I help women, but really understanding the mission that you're a part of and the part that you play in that greater mission. I think that's really, really, when it's clear, compelling, and concrete, the judges can see that, they can taste it, and it's very, very attractive when somebody carries that. Okay. And that's the difference between trying to be passionate and just being passionate. Number 4 is you have to transform your interview. So you have to be a great speaker. You have to be great at interpersonal communication. You have to be emotionally intelligent. You have to be great at reading a room, at flowing with the room, at adapting to a room. Now, that doesn't mean turning into somebody that you're not, but it does mean that you're adapting and reading a situation. You're not just so bullishly focused on yourself that you're not sensing the energy that you're walking into and filling that room accordingly with what it needs. In addition to that, the language patterns like that we teach in our interview course are taking the judges on a journey, knowing, tone, pacing, some laughing stories, some serious stories, vulnerability, sharing your achievements, all your accomplishments, all these different things, and learning how to confidently take up space and be authentic and real while under stress and pressure is like so hard and so incredibly important. It is absolutely mandatory. You cannot get around this if you want to win a pageant. So closing this point out, let's make this really, really practical, tactical. So in order to transform your interview, you need a couple things, because interview is the Super Bowl of pageants. It is where you walking important, branding important. All these 9 things are not optional to win your pageant. Okay. And so I hesitate to even say this because it's not like I don't like when coaches tell you that it's okay to bank on one area. And I found a lot of people that will, again, either not place or consistently place and runner up but not win is like, well, I'm a shoo-in for the talent prelim, or I'm a shoo-in for, I've won interview at every pageant, so I don't need to work on it. Or interview, the girl who's won interview the last 4 times has won the pageant. They don't really care about talent here. It's like, okay, well, what a vulnerable position to put yourself in to not work hard on the other areas because you think that one area is going to carry you. That's a lot of pressure and stress to put on yourself. That's totally unnecessary. And that's, from a mindset perspective, really, really dumb, because your true identity is trying to be authentic all the time. So your identity will create a lack of peace, and it will literally create anxiety to protect you from being a fake person. And the authenticity is telling you, you didn't work on this. You are not ready for this. And so people will, in the moment, be like, oh, well, talent just makes me so anxious. And it's like, yeah, maybe, or maybe you just didn't work on it. So naturally, you should be anxious because you might mess up, and that goes back to the certainty element that we talked about earlier. Okay, so a couple things that you need for interview, which again, if I had to pick one, interview does win the pageant, because it's where they get to know you, right? Just a good walk is not going to, if 2 people have equally good walks, the person that they love more in interview is going to win. Okay, so you need authority and actual experience in what we call your heroine story, which then usually becomes your platform. You have to have actual experience in this area. If you don't have stories to talk about, then your answers are going to come across way shallower than everybody else that does have depth. So you have to commit to building some kind of depth in your life. Number 2 is, again, that emotional intelligence aspect of likability. So when you walk into a room, do people scatter because you blow into a room? This is something that I'm talking about a lot with some other mentees of mine. Do you only talk about yourself? So this ditch, not being able to talk about yourself, uncomfortable taking up space. This ditch over here, you have a deep need to be seen and heard, so you talk about yourself all the time, and you don't have emotional intelligence in this area, and you need to learn how to ask questions. You need to learn how to hold space for other people. You repel people because you're talking about yourself all the time, and you're not aware, and it's very unlikable, okay? And then number 3 is confidence in your consistency and congruency. Consistency builds congruency with yourself. When you keep your promises to yourself, you become more confident, you become more outward and open rather than internal and closed, because you're actually analyzing, you're trying to be 3 steps ahead, and you are like super duper concerned with what everybody thinks of you all the time, and you're secretly making judgments about others and yourself. So if you want to win the crown, the judges have got to see you on their morning show in the morning. Point being, you have to know how to authentically adapt, perform. So getting those reps in practice before the crowning day is like the best thing ever. That's why having a podcast was like the secret advantage for me. Because everyone's like, oh, are you nervous for interview? I'm like, are you kidding me? I write like 10 notes down on a note card and rip a 30-minute podcast once a week, and I've been doing this for 8 years. Like, it's not that I'm above anything, but I've built this muscle so deep. 306 episodes in, I think we're at this point, something like that. Again, like, I don't think I'm above anything, but I've practiced this enough for this to be a level of mastery for me. So that's how we're able to do that, which leads me to number 5, commanding the stage. So this is becoming more and more important. You used to be able to slide by in Miss America, even like when I started with kind of average walks. And now the game is definitely higher. And I attribute it to the fact that the dissemination of knowledge and learning is so much more readily accessible than it was back in my day. Because Instagram had just started in 2012. I won my pageant in 2014. I competed at Miss America 2014. So, 2014. So you can imagine, like, before Instagram, people really only had Facebook to like share things. And there wasn't this, go follow people. They were Facebook friends, but like following and sharing pictures and moments and videos wasn't really a thing until Instagram really came around. So you can imagine how much faster the pace of what people even know the standard is now, which has massively raised the bar for how you need to communicate on stage. So your body language either screams, pick me, I'm comfortable taking up space, or I hope I'm enough, I don't believe I'm enough. So walking, points of connection, eye contact, transition moments, stage presence is not just about poses, it's about power. So really, really think about that as you prep for your pageant. Number 6, optimize your wardrobe for you. So for example, Miss Universe looks different than Miss USA. Miss USA clothing looks very different than Miss America, which looks different than Mrs. America, which looks different than a glitz pageant, which looks very different than Miss Grand International, right? Which is very bougie and spinny and like fun and just dramatic and extra. And that's the point, right? As opposed to, I would say the complete other end of the spectrum would be like distinguished young women, which is technically a pageant, but very, very different. Okay. So winning looks like, do you know what colors look good on you? Do you know what fabrics look good on you? Do you know what fabrics you hate? Do you know what shapes look good on you? Do you have a signature look? Do you know how to do your hair and makeup? Do you have a certain way of describing yourself? So in the Pageant Academy, one of the things we do is we take you through a whole personal branding exercise. And it's like, how would you describe your signature look? Do you know what that is? Like for me, I'm actually not dressed in it today, but it's like some kind of tight high-waisted pants or bell-bottom pants, or like I love to wear like bodysuit dresses, especially when I'm pregnant. I can show off my little belly. So tight-fitting dresses, A-line dresses. I'm really in like my romantic era. I'm looking at all my like very feminine dresses that I just bought over here that are like flowy and Florida-ish and like garden party type wear. Like I'm very into that femininity vibe, soft girl era. I'm calling it my soft girl millionaire era. And just like absolutely loving. I'm in my mom era. I'm in, again, my soft girl millionaire era. I'm just like vibing. I'm serving. I'm open. I want to have a million babies, and I work 20 hours a week, and I'm in love with my husband, and I just think I can conquer the world, right? So that's a very just like, that's how I show up online. But also I'm a tell you like it is girl, right? So I'm wearing this flowy pink dress, and my entire personality is pink. But also, like, I can talk sales with the boys. And I regularly, will have a troop of 15 good-looking 7-8-figure boys that are all my husband's friends, men, at my house. Yes, Nebraska has some amazing men. It's why people move here all the time. And they love Jesus, and they're doing their Bible study, on Wednesdays at our house. And I'm, like, very, very happy serving them drinks or, serving them. And it's just awesome. But they also know, like, they'll ask my opinion on a sales framework or ads or social media or whatever, right? And they respect my intelligence. And so we're in that era, right? And that's the attention, that's the vibe that I bring when I'm competing in pageants, right? And I'm like, yeah, that would be intimidating for other people because I know how to like look hot and have a banging body when I compete. And also I can talk with the best of them, right? And because of my life experience and the consistency that I live my life every day according to my values and serving people and the life experience that I bring to the table, I'm like, yes, I am going to win. I am going to win. Or someone who better have outworked me and is even better. And I trust that what's meant for me is what's meant for me. And if it's not this, then it's something better, right? And I can live with that open hand and that abundance where I'm like, my life is great, whether I win this pageant or I don't. And because I genuinely believe that, that's a really attractive energy to the judges. Number 7, elevate your fitness and energy. So this kind of goes into that. So if you are not healthy and you cannot walk up and down a flight of stairs, I don't care what weight you are, but you need to be cardiovascularly healthy because the job of a pageant queen is very demanding, okay? To public speak on stage for 45 minutes requires a lot of breath support, okay? To even like talk on the phone for that long requires a lot of breath support. Like I remember I literally had to work up stamina to do podcasts, to do long coaching calls, to do these different things. I had to build that stamina and that muscle. So I want you to just envision the body that you want. I want you to come into agreement with it from an internal perspective to really see yourself like you already have it, like you're already grateful for it. And then I want you to reverse engineer the action that it's going to take to be able to come into that and to be able to lead from your physical presence. I think that's a really great way to put it. Like, what do you need to do to be a leader physically? Not just like blend in, not just not be the worst, but literally how can your body and your energy like command this authentic, feminine, beautiful leadership that other people are drawn to. Okay, so that's part of presence. It's really important. Number 8, leverage social media authority. You are not just a contestant, you are a public figure with a microphone. So building a recognizable brand that will outlast the pageant. Super important, especially if you want to make extra income. Learning how to build credibility in your community, learning how to communicate online, like Instagram stories. You should be doing Instagram stories every single day, practicing saying stuff, practicing your platform, practicing your heroine story, practice telling your story vulnerably, seeing what people connect to. Like it is such a hack that no coaches freaking teach. Like practicing Instagram is also what made me win Miss Nebraska USA. Like in a snap, I was like, because I do this every day, every single day. I'm sharing my life. I'm opening up my heart. I'm like seeing what people connect to, and what they connect to, I double down and I triple down on. I'm like, hey, if these 20 people responded to this Instagram story, a judge would probably find this interesting too. Like, guys, this is so money. Like this podcast alone is going to help you win a pageant. It literally will. Just do what I tell you to do. Okay. And number 9, build a championship support team. So every national level queen has a squad. You need a strategy coach. You need walking and fitness experts in your corner. You need hair and makeup guidance. You need prayer and emotional accountability. You need mindset help. You need wardrobe help. You need interview help. Okay. Champions don't win alone. I'm not even saying it has to be me. Do whatever you want to do. Okay. The right people are going to work with us. The wrong people we're going to absolutely repel. That is fine with me. Okay. We've had the best sales month like of all time this month. And it was because I posted more bombastically about my outright values than ever before, in a way that's like, do something that scares you. I stood up for my values. I stood up for my friends. I stood up for world events that were happening. And we have literally, I've never had more fun in business. And I'm so excited to like do mastermind this year and like connect with all of you guys in person. And I'm so excited to like every day I'm like, this client needs to meet this client, and this client needs to meet this client, and this student needs to meet this student. And I'm just like, because our culture at Powerhouse is so beautiful, and it's so this like championing of women wanting to lock arms toward their goals. And like I literally could cry because it's just it's everything even beyond what I imagined. I feel like I have this new fire in me for women in pageants. And I think part of it too is because, you know, I'm helping people in my own personal mastermind for NLP stuff that I've built now on top of Pageant Academy. And if you're interested in that, you know, that's well, it may not be available by the time that you've booked a strategy call. So we'll see. But you might have to get on the wait list for that. But I think I'm so fulfilled by this right now because I'm helping women with these deep issues and issues like transition and transitioning into motherhood or transitioning, out of college into full-time work, or just decisions that women need support, major events in their life, these internal identity issues. Like I'm having so much fun just living in my purpose that I just like want to give all this yummy goodness away to you guys. I want to put all this out into the world. I just want to serve my butt off to help you guys see that like pageantry is just the tip of the spear, but there's so much more that God has called you to that's so beautiful and so meaningful. And I just want to like, I wish I could take a USB port and like put what I know into your brain. And that's what I try to do. That's what I try to do through all my courses. And I'm constantly coming out with more freebies and podcasts. And I'm just like, I just want to be this big sister and this wealth of knowledge and this like wise voice in your life that's guiding you closer to Jesus and guiding you closer to healthy marriages and setting goals in a healthy way and just being healthy from the inside out and really like embodying this beautiful biblical woman of God that other people want to ask, like, what's your secret? Like, how do you do this? And it just inspires me every day. So thank you so much, all of you, for just being you and, taking up your cross and deciding to do something with the life that God has given you. God has designed you to look like you, walk like you, talk like you in a very exact and specific way because he loves you and he cares about you. And I always say there are sheep that need to hear your voice, not mine. And maybe some of our sheep will be the same, but a lot of them will be different. So God needs you to get to the top of your mountain of influence, so that you can reach as many sheep as possible and come down and pull them up the mountain and help them get there as well. And that's an analogy that I use actually on all of our sales calls for that reason, because it really is like that. So yeah, great episode today. This single-handedly is going to help you guys win a pageant. Make sure that you've marked the details for Black Friday in your calendar. Be on the lookout for our emails. March 28th and 29th here in Omaha, Nebraska will be Mastermind 2026. And inside of the Black Friday mega bundle, you will get to watch the Mastermind recap video from last year and see how transformative and emotional and just incredible it is, how intimate it is. And I want to blow it up this year. I want 100 people there or more. So it's going to be life-changing. Like I have very, very high expectations. Last year we did worship. We had people coming to the Lord. We had, I believe, people that were delivered of some things internally, and it's about so much more than pageants. If you really want a weekend where you will not leave the same, but also slay your pageant and like kill it and get feedback in all those areas, then you literally cannot afford to not be at Mastermind. So that's all. I'll see you guys next week. As always, follow us here, subscribe, valuable stuff on Instagram, just all the places, and encourage you to just dive in for your dreams. So I think that's it. I'll see you all next week. Bye.